And now comes the fun of getting it sold. So
Yep.
congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And I see in the chat, I think Santiago said, I've got a buyer consultation next tomorrow. Good job, Santiago. That's awesome. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm so proud of you. That is awesome. I love, love, love the activity level of you guys. You know, you got to trust the process, because the reality is that the only way we're going to get business is by our activities, right? That's how you're going to get business. So if you're not making the phone calls, if you're not doing the open houses, not going on appointments, then you can't expect to get any business. But if you actually are doing the activities, then you're going to get business. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And so I just want you guys all to keep trusting the process. You guys are doing great. Jackie was with me on Saturday with the open house, shadowing me. And we just had some great conversations. She actually went outside and someone was standing or was coming up to the gate, and she directed them to the open house. They weren't even coming to the open house. She directed them to the open house. So proud of her for just being so outgoing and talking to people and pushing them towards the open house. That was awesome. So keep doing the activities, you guys, and trusting the process. Okay. So good job. I'm so super excited. Yes, Santiago, a heart for everyone. Absolutely. A big heart for everyone. So super proud. All right. So let's hop in to our weekly market update. I think you guys know the drill. Be TCPA compliant. As you're talking to people, obviously you want to make sure that you are talking to people that have given you permission, right? Or people that are not on the do not call list. So please do not call people that are on that do not call list. They're there for a reason. And unfortunately, you could get hit with a huge fine. So we don't want that, right? All right, so let's hop into LA County. So for LA County, for sale properties is down 3% over last month, right? So we have less for sale properties than we did last month, to the tune of 3%, which is not a big deal. But overall, we're up 23.7% in LA County. So we actually have 23.7% more inventory on the market than we did this time last year. Okay. Sold properties are up 6.3% over last month at this time in the month. So, and remember, we're looking at September 1st through September 20th, because that's when this stops, versus as compared to August 1st through August 20th. Okay, that's the month over month comparison. And then the year over year comparison is comparing January to September, right, of this year compared to January of September to last year. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Excuse me. All right, so sold properties, like we said, is up 6.3% month over month, and down 1.2% as compared to last year. Okay, so not a huge hurdle to overcome, but definitely, the trend is in the downward versus being up, which is what we originally anticipated. Okay, having more sales, more closings than having less, but it's only 1.2% less than it was last year. So we'll keep our eye on that. Pendants are down 4.1% as compared to last month, and down only 0.3% as compared to last year. Again, so these two numbers are not huge numbers. All right, new listings are down 3.5% as compared to last month, and up 11.6% over last year. So again, in both categories, we've got more inventory on the market than we did last year, which is great, especially with these interest rates, right, coming down, because that can bring our buyers back in who have been sitting on the sideline waiting for interest rates to come down. I don't know about you, but I am getting more buyer calls right now saying, hey, Brandy, is now should I be looking? I heard the interest rates, right? They're starting to hear the news that the interest rates are coming down. So this is a great time. We've got more inventory and now buyers are coming back, right? That is a good recipe for sales. All right, average active price is up 0.7% as compared to last month. and down 6.7% overall. Okay, so on average, sellers are asking 6.7% less than they did last year. However, the number below, they are receiving 6.9% more than they did last year. So they're asking less, receiving more, right? 6.9% more than they did last year. Okay. Months of inventory is 5% down over last month. Last month, we were at 4 months of inventory. Currently, we're at 3.8 months of inventory. And then we are up 25.6% overall. So last year, we were at 3.1 months of inventory, currently at 3.9 months of inventory. Okay. So this is still considered a seller's market. But as you guys can see, this is a shifting market. We went from having 3 months of inventory last year to now 3.9 months of inventory. So we are definitely making improvements in terms of our inventory, right? And what does that do? That pushes us into that normal market, right? As we start to get closer to that 4 months of inventory, we start to get closer to the normal market threshold. All right, average days on market is up 2.7% over last month. Last month, we were at 37 days on market. Currently, we're at 38 days on market in LA County. Overall, it's a 23.3% improvement. We were at 30 days on market last year. We're at 37 days on market currently. And we would expect that days on market would increase, right? Because more inventory is coming on the market. So sold versus original list price is 1.1% increase over last month. Last month, sellers were receiving 95% of their list price, currently 96% of their list price. Overall, it's a 1% decrease. Last year, sellers were receiving 98% of their list price, currently 97% of their list price. All righty. Moving on to Orange County. For Orange County, for sale properties have gone down 6.5% as compared to last month. Overall, though, a 25.1% increase over last year. Okay. So we've definitely got more inventory on the market. More properties came on the market this year than last year, right? To the tune of 25.1%, which is great. Sold has gone down. Sold properties have gone down 7.3% as compared to last month. However, it's also gone down only 2.3% as compared to last year. So again, both counties we're seeing a decrease in sales, right? However, it's not huge, right? 2.3% is not huge. Now, 2.3% is obviously more than the 1. I believe 8 or 9 in LA County, or actually even lower than that, I believe. But it's still not a huge number, and we are going to be watching that number to see if now, with the interest rates coming down, if the buyer activity and the sales are actually going to go up and be able to overtake this deficit. Okay, that's what we're looking at. All right, pendants are up 4.6% as compared to last month, and down 0.4% as compared to last year. So pendants, just like in LA County, it's a very small amount, right? Only down 0.4%. I believe in LA County, it was like 0.2, 0.3%, right? All right, new listings is down 23.5% as compared to last month, and up 8.8% as compared to last year. So still in Orange County, we are seeing increases in inventory on both new listings and existing inventory, right? So this is a good sign for us. We want to get the inventory up because in Orange County, especially if you've been following Orange County, man, scarcity of inventory in Orange County. Okay, and we'll show you that in a second here. Average active price is up 1.7% as compared to last month, and down 6.3% over last year. So sellers in Orange County are asking 6.3% less than they did last year. Okay, now, and that's on average. You guys know for a fact that in some cities in Orange County, they're asking more than they did last year, right? And in some cities, they're asking like this, 6.3% less, right? So you got to get hyper local when you're looking at wherever your buyer is looking to buy or wherever your seller is looking to sell, right? Got to look at their specific circumstance or their specific area. All right, average sold price is down 3.9%. I'm sorry, average sold price is up 3.9% compared to last year. So although they're asking for 6.3% less, sellers in Orange County are still on average receiving 3.9% more, okay, than they did last year. Good sign for sellers. They're moving still in the right direction in terms of having appreciation, right? They're still in the green. All right, here's what I'm talking about. In Orange County, they're sitting at a 3.8% improvement over last month. Last month, we were at 2.6 months of inventory, currently 2.7 months of inventory. So in Orange County, unlike LA County, and I think we'll see in the other counties, you know, Orange County is still in that seller's market, right? And still here. Overall, it's a 28.6% improvement because last year we were at 2.1 months of inventory. Right? That's like, so what this number means, guys, is that if no other properties came on the market right now, right? If we stop properties from coming on the market, it would only take 2.7 months for all the properties to be sold. Okay, that's what your absorption rate means, right? It would only take 2.7 months for all the properties to be sold. Okay, that's how much inventory you have, right? All right, and in order to get into that normal market, we're looking at having at least 4 months of inventory on the market. Right now, we're at 2.7 months of inventory in Orange County, which means we are still in a seller's market, which means what? You're still going to have multiple offers more than likely. However, it is shifting. So let's be clear, it is shifting. As you can see, it went from 2.1 months last year to 2.7 months currently. It is a shifting market. Okay, so with that in mind, yes, you may see it act like a normal market in some areas, meaning some areas you may not have multiple offers. In some areas, you may have leverage where you can get the seller to give you a concession, right? It just depends on the area and the demand in that area, okay? So just keep that in mind. Average days on market has not changed in Orange County from last month. Last month we are at 36 days, currently at 36 days. Yeah. And then currently we're at 36 days on market, right? So no change on the average days on market. However, year over year, it's gone up 33.3%. Last year, we're at 24 days on market, currently 32 days on market. Okay. Even in a seller's market, if you add more inventory to the market, it is still going to increase your days on market because buyers have more choices, right? There's more competition. So no matter what, it's still going to increase the days on market. Sold versus original list price has not changed. Is 96%. Sellers are receiving 96% of list price. A 1% decrease as compared to last year. Last year, sellers were receiving 98% of their list price. Currently, 97% of their list price, right? So what does that mean? Hey, that's a good number. 97% of your list price is a great number. And because we are good at what we do, we can help our sellers to get more, right? Help our sellers to achieve 100% of their list price, depending on our pricing strategy. All right, Riverside County is up next. For sale properties is down 1.4% as compared to last month and up 11.6% as compared to last year. Okay, so we've got more for sale properties, more inventory came on the market this year to the tune of 11.6%. Sold properties are down 4.4% as compared to last month and down 3.8% as compared to last year. So that's the bigger number than the other two counties, right? Pendants are up 7.9% as compared to last month and down 1% over last year, okay? So pendants are still very small, 1% and less, all right, as compared to last year. New listings is down 2.8% over last month and up 3.7% over last year. So not as much new listing inventory, as compared to LA and Orange County, right? But still a little bit more, right, than there was last year, which is good because we do want to see inventory gains, right? And we want to see new listing inventory. And I expect in Riverside County, I expect there to be more because of all the new development, okay? But not a lot of new development necessarily comes on the MLS, which then would be counted in here, okay? So that could be a reason for that number being smaller than what we believe it to be. Average active price is down 0.2% over last month and down 1.7% as compared to last year. So in Riverside County, sellers are asking 1.7% less than they did last year. However, they're receiving 1.6% higher than they did last year, right? So they still are seeing appreciation to the tune of 1.6% in Riverside County. Now, that's a little bit flat, right? That's not a lot, but it's definitely still in the green. It's still more than they would have received last year. And be very careful about quoting this particular sales trend or price trend. Why? Because in their area, when someone's asking you what's the market like in my area, you want to get hyper local and be like, great question. I mean, I know the overall sales trends in Riverside County. I can definitely tell you all about that. However, what I'd like to do is really dive in and get a little bit more granular and look at your specific neighborhood. Wouldn't that be more helpful for you? Right? That's how you want to then be able to get that address, right? So that you could get their information, so that then you could really have a meaningful conversation and bring it home for them, right? Okay. All right. Months of inventory. Sorry, guys. Yep. Okay, I did do that. Months of inventory is up 5.1% as compared to last month. Last month, we were at 4 months of inventory. Currently, we're at 4.2 months of inventory. Overall, a 16.3% increase over last year. Last year, we were sitting at 3.1 months of inventory. Currently, we're at 3.6 months of inventory. So we are still in Riverside County, still in a seller's market. Although we are approaching the normal market, we're still right now sitting in a seller's market. Average days on market has gone up 2% as compared to last month. Last month, we were at 50 days on market. Currently, we're at 51 days on market. Nothing big, right? And then a 24.4% increase over last year. Last year, we were at 41 days on market. And currently, again, we're at 51 days on market, right? 10-day shift. Sold versus original list price. Something's wrong here. Like, again, every now and again, you're going to get some anomalies in here. So it says we have a 30.2% decrease, right? We went from 96% of list price to 67% of list price. So there must be some property that got put in there, or a couple of properties that had to be adjusted, and it's throwing this number off. Overall, it's a 3.1% decrease. We were at 97% of list price, and now sellers are receiving about 94% of list price, okay? All right, let's hurry along to San Bernardino County. So San Bernardino County, for sale properties is down 3.7% as compared to last month, and up 16.7% as compared to last year. Okay, so definitely, again, we're seeing good inventory gains across the board. People are tired. They tired of waiting to sell, so they're selling. Life is still happening, right? Every day, life is still happening, regardless of the market and everything. So people are still relocating on their jobs, having babies, getting married, unfortunately, deaths, all those things, all the things, right? And so now they're saying, nope, I can't wait any longer. I want to go ahead and I want to make a move. And that's why we're seeing more inventory come on the market, right? They're tired of waiting for the right time to time the market. And it's very difficult to do, right? So be having those conversations with folks, be having all the conversations, because people are starting to move and we've got to be the ones that they use. Sold are down 1.5% as compared to last month, and down 2.3% as compared to last year. So again, across the board, we have less sales overall than we anticipated. Because we are saying in California that we should see more sales this year. Now it's not over. We're just in our fourth quarter, so it's not over. But definitely, we are getting closer to the end of the year, right? And we're still falling behind in the number of sales, to the tune of, in San Bernardino County, 2.3% less sales than we had last year. All right, pendants are down 2.1% as compared to last month, and down 0.6% over last year. Okay. New listings are down 14.6% as compared to last month. However, we are still up 6.9% over last year, right? New listing inventory, which again, we need. Average active price is down 0.9% over last month and down 0.3% over last year. So in San Bernardino County, sellers are asking just a little bit less than they did last year, to the tune of 0.3% down. However, they are receiving 3.9% higher than they did last year, which is great, right? They are still on the upward trajectory. So that's great. Months of inventory has not changed in San Bernardino County from last month. We're sitting at 4.6 months of inventory. So remember, San Bernardino County is the only county that really is trending and is in that normal market. Everybody's trending toward that market, but San Bernardino County is the only one that really on paper is in a normal market. Overall, it went up 21.4% over last year. Last year, we were sitting at 3.7 months of inventory. Currently, we are 4.5 months of inventory, which means we are definitely in that normal market. Okay. San Bernardino County average days on market has gone up 4.3% over last month. Last month, we were sitting at 47 days on market, currently 49 days on market. Over last year, a 23.7% improvement. We were sitting at 38 days on market, currently 47 days on market. Okay. Sold versus original list price has gone down 59.8% over last month. Again, there must be some funky number in here, right? You can't go from sellers receiving 97% of their list price to receiving 39% of their list price. That's not true. All right. And that number, unfortunately, does feed into this number. So that is not true. I'll have to go, and I'm not sure if I can with these reports. I'll have to see if I can dig behind the data. But last year, sellers were receiving 98% of their list price. Okay. My guess is, in keeping with all of the other trends, is that they're receiving somewhere between 96, 97% of their list price. Okay. If we're just following the trend of the other markets. Okay. All right. That is it for our sales trends. Now let's talk about our upcoming events. We have got some good training coming up for everybody. So this is our calendar for the week. We've got, you guys are with me today with the industry update. And then we've got group coaching, how to read a loan estimate with Nancy today at 12. All my newbies, you guys should be on this call. If you've never gone over a loan estimate, you need to know how to read it, right? Your clients are going to receive that from their loan officer. And if they're anything like the tons of clients that I have, they say things like, Brandy, what does this mean? Break this down. And then Nancy or whomever will break it down. And then they'll come to me and be like, yeah, I don't remember what she said. Let me send you this loan estimate. And can you go over this with me? And they expect you to do it. Why? Because you are their person. You're their person. And let's just be clear. I'm gonna stop sharing for 2 seconds and come have this moment with you guys. Let's be clear, you guys. You are not an option. Like your lender, their lender, sometimes they get rid of their lender. Sometimes there's a better program. Sometimes another lender comes in with a better interest rate. Sometimes there's a down payment assistance program that another lender offers and that the lender that you put them with doesn't offer. Fine, right? But you stay put. That's why they are always relying on you, because they know that the lender may come and go, but you, no, your team, whomever they are, right? And they're going to stick with you. So, and that's what you want. You want them to come to you for all the questions. Even if you can't answer them, that's okay. You'll find the answer for them. But you want them to rely on you. Nikki, don't you go off that camera. I'm looking at you, girlfriend. You're my only one on camera. I'm looking at you. All right. So, yes, so they are absolutely relying on you. And for those of like Nikki, who's been in this business for a while, she can attest to it as well. Like, other people on the team come and go, but you're the one you're the glue, you're their trusted advisor, and you want them to have that relationship with you, that they're not gonna, that they rely on you for everything. Even if it's, something you can't help them with, you'll find a resource for them, right? So That's what you want. Okay. That's what you want. So I said all that to say you got to know a little bit about a lot. Okay. You got to know a little bit about a lot. All right. So, um, tomorrow, conversations in real play, you guys practice on us, on your coaches, and not on your clients. Go there to practice. And then at 12, we're going to do a Canva class, because I know you guys know Keller Williams just joined forces and we all have access to pro Canva accounts. So we want you guys to absolutely take advantage of that and know how to use Canva. So we're going to be doing some Canva classes, or doing a Canva class tomorrow at noon. Um, so, and it's actually not a webinar, it's actually here in-house. Okay. So you got to be here in-house. It is going to be recorded, but it is not a webinar. It is here in-house. All right. And then Ashley is coming back, you guys, to teach us how to actually use CapCut from scratch, how to do your video from scratch. Before, she gave us this overview of her strategy on TikTok and how she's engaging with folks. And now we're going to break it down. She's going to break it down even further to give us the step-by-step so that you can actually create your videos. Now, the requirement is this: you must go video a home. You must go and actually take video, and you got to have at least 5 or 6 mini videos of the property, right? Take a video of the kitchen, of the living room, of the dining room, of the 2 bedrooms, whatever, right? Of the backyard. Take your video, and then she's going to teach us how to put it all together. Okay. And preferably have the home be vacant. Now, if you get to the point where you're like, oh shoot, I didn't do it, guess what? Video your house. That's what I say. Go video your own house. Okay. Get it done so that you have content to bring to the class, so that you make this session very useful for yourself. Make sure you have downloaded CapCut, the app, on your phone. It's free. Okay. And you got to have TikTok as well. All right. All right. And then we have broker hour. Actually, Ed is back, so it is not myself. I'm sorry, I didn't update this. It is going to be Ed on Wednesday and Thursday. He is back. So if we go back, he is going to be teaching for Wednesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. All right. And then we've got on September 26th, Mary Jane will be here from My NHG. She'll be teaching her My Hash Check. And we also have our Lunch and Learn with Jorge Mesa and Anthony Zamora on October 3rd. They're going to be teaching a class on AI. Jorge is obsessed with AI, you guys. I mean, obsessed. He is hilarious. He's like, Brandy, I was up at 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, for what? He's like, I woke up and I just had to talk to ChatGPT. I'm like, oh my God, you need help. So he's going to be teaching us about AI, but he's really enthusiastic about it. He's really engulfed in it. So he's got some great tools for us to help us with our prompts, because you guys know the way that you really make AI useful for you is how you train it. It's how you prompt it, right? And so he's got a tool for us that's free that already has predefined prompts. And so that's really cool. And he's going to be rolling that out to us. Then you guys know on October 30th, we have our trunk or treat. It's not the 31st, it's the 30th. Yeah, we've got to fix this. Yeah, I believe it's the 30th though. Because I don't believe that that's Monday. Is anybody looking at their calendar? I think we've got, I'm looking now. Let's see. Yeah, it's the 30th, which is on a Thursday. Okay, it's on a Thursday. So Thursday the 30th. If you want to participate, please sign up with the front desk for it, because you got to sign up in order for your trunk to be counted. If you're going to decorate your trunk and have it here, we'd love to have you. Okay, it's fun. We always have such a good time. All right. If you want to take Ignite, it is being done virtually, online, 6:30 on Tuesdays. Just sign up using the QR code. Anybody can take it. It just keeps going and going and going. So you can pop in at any time. And then there's a podcast. It was fire. I listened to it this morning on my way in. This team actually closed 20 million in volume, you guys, in 8 weeks. Okay. Running the 8x8 playbook. And it is, like he said, it's simple, not easy. All right. It is simple. It was simple. Wait, what he's doing was simple, not easy, because we have to do it. Right. And so we're going to be putting together an 8x8, an 8-week contest, because that's what he did. And I mean, it's simple, it's fun. We're going to gamify it and have some fun in this last quarter here, you guys. So be on the lookout for that. All right. You guys know Airbnb has a referral program. So MREAnotes.com/Airbnb right here, Airbnb. You guys can sign up to be a referral agent. And if your clients list their properties on there, you can make and put you as the referrer, you can make a profit. You can make a referral fee from that. Okay. It's easy money, guys. It's easy money. If they use it, and they list you, it's easy money. All right. Industry news. Who heard about this? Compass to acquire anywhere. All right. Creating the world's largest brokerage. But is it really the world's largest brokerage? It's actually not, because they're not one brokerage. It'll be, if you guys know anything about Anywhere, Anywhere is made up of about 6 or 7 different brokerages. Okay. There's C21 is in there. There's oh my God, there's so many. I should have wrote them down.
Sotheby's is in there.
Sotheby's is in there. Thank you, Nikki. Coldwell Banker is in there.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's several of them. So thank you guys. Great. So as you guys can see, there's several in there. So, and they're all different brands. They have all different, like Sotheby's. Nikki came from Sotheby's. Sotheby's is more of your high-end clientele, or that's how they market themselves, as the high-end clientele, the luxury area, right? And so Sotheby's is very niche, right? It's very niche, if you will. So you have all these different brands in there. They're not going to want to come under, and they haven't been required to do that under Anywhere. They haven't tried to assume the top person, like everybody didn't become Coldwell Banker. No, Sotheby's is still Sotheby's. Coldwell Banker is still Coldwell Banker, right? So they didn't try to merge them all into one brand, which is why this is a little bit misleading, because it's not the world's largest brokerage, because there's only one Keller Williams, right? And we're all under one brokerage, which is Keller Williams, okay? Versus being under Anywhere, which is part of their name, and having all these different brokerages underneath them. Okay. So a lot of uncertainty out there about how Compass agents feel, how Anywhere agents feel about this. So if you guys hear of anybody saying, you know what, I think I want to make a move, send them to your girl. Make sure you holler at me. All right. Make sure you let me know so I can call them and talk to them. We definitely just want to help them remain consistent in their business, build their business, and know that they've got a place to lay their head, if you will, rest their business, if you will, and we are stable, right? So that's what we want to do. Mortgage rates go up slightly. So on September 17th, the Fed cut the rate as expected, 0.25%, right? They are still expected to cut the rate at least 2 more times before the end of the year. Okay. But the interest rates jumped up. They cut them on a Tuesday. The interest rates were at 6.13%. Then they kind of ticked up to 6.37 on Thursday. Okay. Not a huge jump, but just it did do that. And it sometimes does that, right? It sometimes does that. And actually, I was talking to a lender over the weekend, and he was saying, yeah, a lot of times when the Fed cuts the rate, initially in the first few days, that rate actually goes up just a little bit. It ticks up just a little bit, and then it starts to go down. And he's like, so just hang on. You know how you hear that? Wait for it. Just wait for it, because interest rates more than likely are going to go down back in the trend that they were already going. The reality is that we were on a 7-week decline in terms of interest rates. Interest rates are the lowest they've been in 3 years, you guys. Okay, 3 years. So if your buyers are saying, is now a good time? The answer is yes. Now is a good time, because if they continue to go down, if the Fed it cuts the rate 2 more times, and we start to see those interest rates really, really going down a little bit more. And when we say really, really going down, we don't, nobody expects it to hit 4%. Okay, nobody expects that. What we're talking about right now is five, and not even 5.5. Okay, that's what they're looking at, and that's on an FHA loan. I'm talking FHA. Okay, I'm not even talking conventional. Conventional is still in 6.5 or 7. Okay, but if you're looking at FHA, we're hoping that we'll be at like 5.5. We're hoping conventional will get down like 6.5 or so. So just keep your eye out, but have your buyers start to look into buying. Have them start to get pre-approved. Why? Because then they could be ahead of the curve. They could be buying while everyone else is getting ready. And when interest rates go down again, if they go down significantly enough, then they can just refinance, right? The term has not, we've stopped using it, but it's still marry the house, date the rate. Marry the house and date the rate. Okay? Get hitched to the house. That's what we want you to do, right? And when the interest rate goes down enough, then you just refinance. That's the goal. Okay. All right, guys. Let me see what else we've got. You guys know all about the marketing tools, social posts. We had, I think that's it. I think that's it, because I already shared with you. You guys, the MREA podcast was great. Make sure you listen to that. Feed yourself with that. And any other good podcasts that you have, share. Put it in on our hub. If you've got a really great podcast that you like listening to, all of us need to be listening to some positive things, feeding ourselves with positive things. All right. Let's see. Santiago had a comment. Let's see what Santiago is talking about.